And I think this segues us nicely into trading, because for trading, I believe willpower is an interesting term. And I think lots of traders feel like there has to be willpower not to trade the next stock that's on CNBC, or hey, look at what Evan's posting on Twitter, like maybe I should go trade that. There's willpower involved in many, it shows up in many different ways. So your solution, or what you're saying, is create those habits. You need a process and identify. That's an interesting one. That's the term you used. Identify as being that person. Is that fair assessment on kind of translating it into trading?
Identity is so important. Who we are, how we think of ourselves is so much more important than you hit a lot of things here that I want to touch on. One of them was what's coming at you, like, Twitter or news or people talking at me. That
Mm-hmm.
is, that's the junk food of information. You know what I mean? Like, that's the junk food of like what's coming into your mind. That's a whole other thing. But this idea of identity and who we are and willpower, how do we think of ourselves, is critical to any being anything, not just a trader. But in terms of being a trader, how do I think of myself? What do I do? Am I disciplined? Do I have an exit before I enter every trade? Is that just who I am and that's what I do? Or do I wrestle with that? Is it about willpower for me? The more you do something, the more it becomes habituated, the more it becomes a part of who you are, the more it becomes internalized. So it's really repeating these things over and over again. If you're suffering, if you're having difficulty doing that, you have to make a change. I don't have any slick way of motivating you to do that, but you don't have a choice because you're not going to last long in the market. You probably want to start with lowering your risk, and you probably want to start with making fewer trades. And just, because then you're going into learning mode and teaching yourself mode. So if you spent a year just making one trade a day, and that trade from a process point of view was chef's kiss. So you had your process, you had your setup, you had your entry, you had your defined risk, and you did that one trade per day. You did that every day for a year, it would become a habit, and it would become automatized, habitual, part of who you are, part of how your brain works, part of what you do naturally and over again. So it would stop being willpower at that point. And it would, it would be about, this is what I do, this is who I am. So much more important than what you're never going to get there on willpower.
Yeah.
You're going to beat yourself up like crazy. And the world is filled with people who failed at everything, whether it's a diet, whether it's exercise routine, whether it's trading, anything, because of failed willpower. And then you go and you beat yourself up because, I couldn't do it. I wasn't strong enough. It's not about strong. Darwin will tell you, right, that evolution is not, natural selection is not about strength. It's about flexibility and adaptiveness.
Hey, it's Evan here. I hope you enjoyed this clip from our full-length interview. Don't forget, if you want to hear this entire episode with even more insights from our awesome guest, you can find it by searching the Smarter Trading Podcast in iTunes or on your favorite podcast app. You can also find all of the show notes for this episode by heading to thetraderisk.com/podcast. Thanks for tuning in.